Hello everyone. My name is Yuntao, and it's a pleasure to be here to present our latest work. It's called Automatic Profile Inference with Language Model Agents. This is a joint work by people from Purdue University and Alibaba US. So in this talk, I will introduce a new privacy threat to online pseudonymity, which we believe is very practical and related to almost anyone. So basically, online pseudonymity means that when we use the internet online, we normally do not use our real identity. So instead, we'll create another usernames or fake names on the platform for online interaction. So online pseudonymity is not a new concept. So back to 1993, there is a famous cartoon that said that on the internet, nobody knows your dog. So over the past 2 decades, I think people gradually realized the benefits of the pseudonymity. For example, people can discuss something that they are afraid to talk in the physical world because they don't need to worry about being judged or have their personal information being exposed. So because of this, there are enormous popular apps like X, Reddit, or Telegram that allows people to use fake names or nicknames for communication. And there is a so-called pseudonymous economy, which is already become a unique character of the internet. So, however, while pseudonymity had your real identity from the public, it does not mean you are completely untraceable. So there are many ways that can be linked back to you. So for example, a person's identity can be revealed by analyzing their own activities. So this process is known as doxing or de-anonymization. So one key factor that's the most online activities are public available, meaning that anyone who on the internet can see a user's posts and comments, even if they do not know who the user is. So this creates an opportunity for attackers to analyze a user's activity and piece together all those clues to guess their real identity. So the question is, how close are we to facing those threats? So intuitively, it will take a lot of efforts to extract the potential personal information from those noisy online activities. And it seems that there is no large-scale privacy breach happens because of the pseudonymity. So, but now we have larger models, right, which are very powerful for language model understanding and also very good at performing complicated tasks. So our paper shows that with the help of a larger model, it is highly possible to launch such an attack at unexpected scales and with minimal cost. So specifically, we are the first to systematically study the privacy threats to online pseudonymity. And we also develop a tool called Auto Profiler that can automatically extract the personal information from public comments and posts of a targeted user. And the inferred attributes can be used to identify the real identity of the user. And because large language models are becoming more and more easy or cheaper to use, it is also highly affordable and can be easily deployed in a large scale. So using Auto Profiler, this tool, we also successfully identify some Reddit users with high confidence. And I will explain this later. So first, we define a new privacy threat where the adversaries can instruct the large language model to scrape and analyze the history of a targeted user and extract the personal information from those activities. So in the end, it will generate a detailed profile based on the inferred attributes. So basically, the attackers only need to tell large language model who they want to attack, and the system will automatically do all the attack by themselves and without any help from humans. So as you can imagine, this is a complicated task even for humans because most of the online activities are really noisy and irrelevant to users' personal information. So when we design this attack architectures, we are inspired by well-established domain called offender profiling, or also called criminal profiling. So where the profiler is responsible to create a profile of an offender based on the analysis of the criminal behaviors and patterns. So in the offender profiling, there are 4 critical steps, which are designing the decision process models and input the background about the criminal and conduct the assessment and construct the profile. Because our goal is very similar to this criminal profiling, so we also follow these principles to design 4 large language model agents to complete this profiling work. So for example, the strategist design the attack plan and give instructions to other agents based on the attack progress, and the retrievers gather all the users' online activities and on the internet and send it to the extractor. And the extractors conduct the in-depth analysis of the user's activity, extract the potential personal information. And because large language models can make mistakes and can infer wrong attributes, so we also use another agent called a summarizer to address these errors in the inferred attributes and refining the results to generate a more reliable profile of the target user. So we also use the in-context learning to initialize all the agents, but we do not provide any demonstrations or examples because we find that it is really hard to provide comprehensive examples about this profiling task. So instead, we just use the descriptions to each agent and to detail their responsibilities, and hopefully they are intelligent enough to complete this job by their own. So because current large language model also have a limited window size and memories, we also design an iterative workflow that enable agents to profile user incrementally, which means that we propose one batch of the activity at a time to handle users with enormous activities. So we also require the agents to produce structured output rather than using neutral language. This approach allows us to better organize the information and also better handle the memories of agents. So as you can see from this figure, the strategist gave a command to the retriever, and the retriever uses the API functions to collect the user's activities. And the strategist get the user's activity and command the extractor and the summarizer to extract and refine these inferred attributes. So the method or the framework is quite straightforward, but what's really hard, we think, is the evaluation. So let's talk about how to evaluate the attack performance. So first of all, the evaluation of this profiling task is inherently difficult because there is no ground truth, and we believe there is no proper public data set is available for this attack, for this kind of profiling. So instead of evaluating the performance on a single data set, we use 3 data sets to access our attack from different aspects. For example, we collect over 200 real Reddit users to form a data set called Reddit, which we believe presents the real world people communications, but the drawback of this is there is no ground truth. And we also have another data set called Twitter, which we collected some famous users from the Twitter, and we have the ground truth about their identity, but there is no attribute level ground truth. So we also use a state-of-art synthetic data set, which is published in Europe's 2024, which has the ground truth for the predefined 8 PIIs. So here we have 2 demonstrations to show how it really works. So for example, in this example, the Reddit user discusses the car selections in a car subreddit, and the auto profiler can understand the context that the user is pretty high, and because he cannot fit in this 2-set car. In another subreddit, the user shows sympathy to another user and indicated that their father has passed away at their young age. And the system can infer the sensitive information and record it to the profile. And we also find that the language model can capture these subtle implications in conversation and maybe even better than humans. So in this example, there are some specific words that are maybe more commonly used in Filipino, and so the auto profiler can infer this user may have the cultural background related to the Filipino. We also conduct the application studies to show that the auto profiler is both effective and efficient in terms of the cost and the profiling speed. So one particularly interesting thing is that we find that the inferred attributes, some personal information that are far beyond the personally identifiable information, which is also called PII. We believe this is quite interesting because for privacy research, we normally only consider the PII are private. But in practice, people may leak much more or much deeper sensitive information than we thought. So how would those inferred information can be used to violate people's privacy? Well, we'll use a very simple example to show how it works. Specifically, there is a feature in LinkedIn that allows users to search people using some key characters like location or education backgrounds. So it is possible to use the inferred attributes as a source and get more detailed information about the user who using LinkedIn. So we conduct this using the real subreddit users, and we found that I would say over 10 or 20 Reddit users can be narrowed down into very small candidates, like less than 5 candidates in the LinkedIn users. So this is quite impressive and also very scary because in these scenarios, this adversary only need to access to the public data set, public information, and cause privacy breach to the real users, which means that anyone who is interested in the targeted user can launch this attack without any expertise in cybersecurity or profiling. So we also discussed some mitigations about this threat. So from the user side, we use state-of-art anonymization tool to mask the sensitive informations for users' tweets or Reddit posts. But however, we found it's not effective enough since current large language models are strong enough to infer the subtle implications in sentence. So it's hard to completely hide them. I also advocate that the platform could have more features to protect people's pseudonymity. For example, it should allow users to better control their online activities to prevent this malicious profiling. Specifically, we found that to our surprise, currently the Reddit do not allow people to hide in their posts. So which means that basically now you can like profile any users on Reddit, even if you are not a Reddit user, or even you are just any adversary can do that. And we also find that the existing alignment for state-of-art large language models are not ready to solve these problems, as our requests are hardly detected by GPT-4 or Cloud 3. And another thing is that we found that the existing popular privacy-enhanced technologies, such as key anonymity or differential privacy, are not ready to be applied to this threat. So maybe new privacy notions are needed to tackle this problem. Okay, so to sum up, the main point of this paper is to show that online pseudonymity give you a false sense of privacy, and it is already possible to launch such large-scale profiling with the help of large language model. And we believe there are enormous opportunities based on our work. For example, for theoretical people, it is interesting to design new privacy notions to quantify this kind of risk. And it is also highly possible to launch more powerful text by using the user's images or videos. And from the large language model perspective, it is also interesting to to design more reliable large language model alignment strategies to prevent such answering such malicious requests. And from the HCI perspective, because we have collected many personal attributes that are beyond the PIs, so it would be very interesting to understand how those sensitive information are really meant to real humans. Yes.